Hi all, how are you all today? Hope everything is fine. Joanne, yeah, fine. So today we are going to read another story, and the story name is The Painter Who Colored the Sky. So let's start then. In a quiet village nestled between emerald hills and a sparkling lake lived a young artist named Emma. She loved to paint everything she saw: golden sunsets, blooming flowers, fluttering butterflies, and smiling faces. Her paintings were beautiful, but Emma always felt that something was missing. I can paint what I see, she often said, but I wish I could paint what people feel. At the very edge of the village stood an old cottage covered in climbing roses. An elderly painter named Master Rowan lived there alone. Long ago, people traveled from distant kingdoms to admire his artwork, but he had not painted in many years. One autumn afternoon, Yama gathered her courage and knocked on his door. Master Rowan, she asked, will you teach me how to paint with feeling? The old painter smiled kindly. I cannot teach it, he replied, but I can help you discover it. The next morning, he handed Emma an old wooden paintbrush. Its handle was smoothed with age, and tiny stars were carved into the wood. This brush once belonged to my teacher, Rowan said. It only reveals its magic to someone who paints with the generous heart. Emma looked closely. It looks like an ordinary brush. Most magical things do. For several days, Emma painted beautiful landscapes with the old brush. Nothing unusual happened. Paintings looked exactly like her earlier ones. She became discouraged. I knew magic wasn't real. Rowan only smiled. The brush is waiting. For what? For your heart? Following week, Emma walked through the village carrying her sketch. She saw a little boy sitting alone because he had lost his favorite toy. Emma spent the afternoon carving and painting a small wooden bird for him. The boy's face lit up with joy. That evening, Emma returned home and painted the sunset. As her brush touched the canvas, something extraordinary happened. The colors shimmered. Painted sky glowed softly as though filled with real evening light. Emma stepped back in amazement. It changed. The next day, she helped an elderly woman plant flowers outside her cottage. When she painted again, the flowers on her canvas seemed almost alive, their petals sparkling gently in the sunlight. Each act of kindness made her paintings brighter. Soon people from neighboring villages came to admire her artwork. Standing before her paintings, they felt peaceful. Some smiled, some remembered happy childhood memories. Others found hope during difficult times. No one could explain why. One evening, Master Rowan showed Emma an old painting hidden beneath a cloth. It showed the night sky filled with thousands of brilliant stars. The legend says, Rowan whispered, that once every 100 years the sky loses a little of its color, and only one artist can restore it. Emma laughed softly. That's just a story. Before Rowan could answer, a strong wind swept through the village. Next morning, everyone noticed something strange. The sunrise was pale, the blue sky looked faded, Even the rainbow after the afternoon rain seemed dull. Birds still sang, flowers still bloomed, but the world had lost some of its brightness. That evening, Emma looked at the old paintbrush. Tiny carved stars along its handle began to glow. A single silver feather drifted through the open window and landed gently on her painting. Attached to it was a tiny ribbon with a simple message. When hearts lose color, the sky falls. Emma looked toward Master Road. He nodded quietly. I believe, he said. It's time to discover why the sky is fading. With the magical brush, her sketchbook, and the mysterious silver feather safely packed, Emma set out before sunrise, ready to begin a journey that would change not only her art, but the hearts of everyone she met. Emma followed the silver feather as it drifted gently through forests, across quiet streams, and over rolling hills. At last, it led her to the highest meadow in the kingdom. There, beneath an ancient tree with silver leaves, stood a magnificent easel unlike any she had ever seen. Its canvas was completely black. Beside it sat a graceful woman wearing a cloak woven with every color of the rain. She smiled warmly. I have been waiting for you. Who are you? Emma asked. I am the keeper of colors, the woman replied. For centuries, I have watched over the colors of the world. Emma looked toward the pale sky. Why is everything losing its color? The keeper gently touched the blank canvas. The colors of the world do not come only from the sun or the flowers. They are strengthened by hope, kindness, gratitude, and love. She pointed toward the faded horizon. When people become too busy to notice beauty or too worried to show kindness, the colors slowly begin to disappear. Emma remembered the hurried faces she had seen in the village. Neighbors rarely stopped to talk. Children spent more time indoors than outside. Many people had forgotten to enjoy the simple wonders around them. Can the colors return? Emma asked. The keeper nodded. But they cannot be painted back by any one artist alone. They must be restored by many caring hearts. Emma hurried back to the village. Instead of telling everyone about magical easels or enchanted colors, she invited them to a special event in the town square. She called it the Day of Colors. Each person was asked to do one simple act of kindness before sunset. Children drew cheerful pictures for elderly neighbors. Gardeners planted flowers outside lonely homes. The baker surprised every customer with a warm loaf of fresh bread. Musicians played joyful songs in the village square. Families shared meals with people who had no one to eat with. Teachers praised children for trying their best. Friends forgave old misunderstandings. As each act of kindness spread, Emma quietly painted nearby. To everyone's amazement, every stroke of her magical brush became brighter than before. The flowers on her canvas burst into brilliant red, yellows, and blues. The trees glowed with rich emerald leaves. The river sparkled like liquid crystal. Then something even more wonderful happened. The real world began changing too. The sunrise grew warmer. The blue sky deepened. Rainbows stretched across the valley in dazzling colors. Butterflies danced among heaps of wildflowers. Birds sang louder than ever before. Laughter echoed through the streets. The village looked more beautiful than anyone could remember. That evening, Emma returned to the ancient meadow. The keeper of colors smiled as a blank canvas slowly filled with shimmering light. Look closely, she whispered. Emma did. The picture wasn't of mountains or forests. It showed people helping one another, a child sharing a toy, a neighbor planting flowers, a stranger comforting someone who was sad. The keeper smiled. These are the colors that never fade. Years passed. Emma became the kingdom's most beloved artist. People admired her paintings, but she always told them the same thing. My brush doesn't create beauty, it simply reflects a kindness already living in people's hearts. Master Rowan watched proudly as his student inspired countless others. Before retiring, he gave Emma one final gift, a new paintbrush carved from the wood of the ancient silver tree. This one is for the next artist, he said, when the time comes. Emma eventually opened a small art school where children learned much more than painting. They learned to notice sunsets, to admire blooming flowers, thank those who helped them, to encourage friends to care for nature. Before every lesson, Emma would smile and say, the most beautiful picture you will ever paint begins with a kind heart. One spring afternoon, a little girl looked at the colorful sky and asked, who painted all of this? Emma gently placed the old magical paintbrush into the wild child's hands. All of us, she answered. The little girl smiled brightly. At that very moment, a flock of birds flew across the glowing sunset, their wings shining with every color of the rainbow. The sky had never looked more beautiful, and from that day forward, people remembered that every act of kindness added another brush stroke to the masterpiece of the world. The world. Whenever someone smiled, helped a neighbor, or filled another heart with hope, colors of the sky seemed just a little brighter. For the greatest artists were never those who simply painted pictures. They were the ones who filled the world with love, compassion, and joy. Now, the moral of the story. The world's true colors come from kindness, gratitude, and love. Every caring action adds beauty to the lives of others, proving that the brightest masterpiece is created by a compassionate heart. I hope you enjoyed the story today. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment to the channel for more exciting stuff to watch for. Thank you.